Hello, friends around the world. How are you today? This is going to be the first installment of helping to teach people different things about their cars, the roadways, training, different things that everybody who is out there driving on the roads should know. The first thing that I would like to address is getting a proper instructor. If you're the first person that this person has ever instructed, please take the time to find somebody else along with them who can teach you more the day-to-day driving, things that they've encountered. That way you get somebody that's a little more knowledgeable about the roadways. I'm not saying the teacher is incompetent, but if he's 2 years older than you, he doesn't have a lot of time on the road. If he's 18, 19, he's still fresh. He's probably got the best of intentions. But at the same time, I would rather have somebody get trained kind of along the ways I did. My dad was 48 years older than I was when I was born. He had many, many miles. He had done delivery driving. He traveled back and forth, moved all over the place. Usually stayed in around the Great Lakes. He had traveled the world as far as during World War II. He had been over in Hawaii and the Philippines. He had the life experience, and that's one thing I think everybody should get is somebody that can tell them, hey, these are some of the reality of some of the things that can happen on the road. I would prefer seeing people get trained by somebody like I did. He's still teaching drivers training, and his son and I, we were in school together. He's around 70 years old now, in incredible shape. He takes care of himself, he exercises, he watches what he eats. He's sharp mentally, and he's got the time. He's taught enough people. He knows some of the oddball situations that could arise. People driving by. But somebody that can teach you roadway safety, how to drive aggressively and defensively, because there are times everybody says drive defensively, it'll be fine. Sometimes you do need to take and drive a little more aggressive because that's what the situation warrants. I would hate to even try to imagine how many miles I've driven in my life. I'm only 45, but I started driving when I was 14. So I've got 31 years of driving from Sault Ste. Marie to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Iron Mountain, Michigan, Chicago, down through Ohio, Indiana, Illinois. I've definitely sat in a driver's seat for more than my fair share. At the start of driver's training, I was 15 years old, and they asked everybody, tell us what kind of driving experience you have. They understood that we live in a small town. People go out in the country. Mom and dad let them drive, a couple miles on the road here and there, just to start getting an idea of what operating a car actually is. Well, they asked who has more than 5 miles of experience. Pretty much everybody raised their hand. I think there was one girl that didn't raise her hand, and they said, okay, well, we'll give you a little more extra intensive training on how to start the car and things like that. And they started saying, okay, more than 20 miles, more than 50 miles, and he kept going up. And as he kept going up, the hands kept going down, and I still had my hand up, and he's talking thousands of miles at this point. And he looked at me, he said, how many miles do you think you've got on you? I said, between 20 and 30,000. He said, there's no way. You're only 14. I said, I live out in the country. I drive around all the time. And I'm driving my dad back and forth to Milwaukee on a regular basis. He had to go down there. Severe diabetes, leukemia, so many health problems, it was unbelievable. But when they finally put me in a car, Fred, my driving instructor, he had one rule. He put his coffee on the dash. He said, if you spill it, you fail. Other than that, let's just go for a ride, get you a little road time. You have to have at least 6 hours of driver training road hours. And I got used to driving a little faster than what I should. And we were driving back from Brimley to the Sioux, and he glanced over. He said, you might want to take and slow it down just a little bit. I looked down. We were in a 55 mile an hour zone, and I was holding about 83. I had gotten used to just driving. Not the best way to do it, but I passed all my driver's classes first try. And a couple years after that, I got my chauffeur's license. I've driven commercially for one of the linen companies here in town. I drove for 10 years, and my route was 6 days a week driving from here to St. Ignace and back. And it's about 65 miles each way. So I was getting 130 miles a day. When I would get a call for a boat, my area stretched from the Sioux to anywhere within about 200 miles. So I could come back at the end of one day and have 400 miles under my belt. The longest day I ever had driving for them was 13 hours straight through. I've learned a lot of things, and I want to share them with you. The first thing I would suggest to everybody, get proper driver training. Find somebody that has some miles under their belt, somebody that can teach you properly, and find a qualified instructor too. The qualified instructor will teach you the laws. The person with the experience will teach you the common sense and how to react to different situations. I'm going to leave that one here. Let me know if you like this, and I'll keep going with it until somebody tells me, you need to just shut up. Have a great day, guys. Bye.